Hi there everyone, welcome to this webinar where today we're going to be looking at youth development for today's youth. My name is Jordan Tyrer. I'm the lead academy S&C coach and sports scientist at Liverpool Ladies Football Club. And a big thank you to Alan and Ben at Football Fitness Federation for asking me to put this webinar together for you today. The whole presentation is aimed at quite a wide audience, so if you're already working in elite environments with elite youth players or grassroots players, individual athletes, or even if you're just interested in the development of youth players in general, then you'll be able to find something in this presentation. The whole presentation as well, it's going to be discussing quite a wide range of aspects, so the psychological, the social, the physical, as well as the technical issues that I think are starting to crop up in a lot of academy systems, but also in general younger populations as well. And as you can see at the top right there, I've put my contact details, so if you want to drop me a message, ask me a question about anything you've seen, if you liked what you saw, if you disliked what you saw, if you just want to open a discussion with me, then by all means drop us a message. This is a topic I'm very passionate about. Hopefully that comes across in the presentation. It's also a topic I think is very, very important, especially in our elite environments. If we were trying to produce players for England setups and our first teams, it's something that I think is really, really important. Without further ado then, guys, let's get into it. Okay, so what is this webinar going to entail? Well, the first big question I'm going to be asking is, what is today's youth? What are some of the characteristics or some of the traits that make up our younger people today? And from that, what are some of the problems that we're facing as practitioners, but also as a general population? And later on, I'm going to be discussing what are some of the solutions to these issues and how can we tackle some of these problems that are starting to arise. And then later on, I've also filmed some sessions that I do with the players at Liverpool, and I'll give you some examples of the kind of things I think we can be doing to help tackle these problems and benefit our young players. So, the big question, what is today's youth? Well, a very, very broad question, but I think if I had to sum it up with one picture, it'd probably be this one. Now, certainly, technology and society and the way the society uses technology has come on so much in leaps and bounds over the past few decades that it is now an integral part of everyone's lives. We are all attached to our phones. We can't live without our laptops, our iPads, and our games consoles. And so, because society has grown in such a way, lo and behold, our children and our young people are more adept at technology than ever before, and more attached to it as well. Now, obviously, that's going to bring some issues. And now, I was born in '92, so that even makes you feel very old, and I apologise for that, or it makes you feel young. And if so, good on you. But as I was growing up in the late '90s, early 2000s, I can remember playing. School holidays came along, summer holidays came along, and you were outside all day. It was a case of you need to come back in rather than you need to get out the house kind of thing. We certainly, I feel as a generation, we were climbing a lot of trees, causing havoc, running around, riding bikes, playing cricket in the street, knocking door mirrors off cars with your football, etc. That gives a little snapshot into my life. And certainly today's generation you don't see that as much, in my opinion. You don't see many kids out on the street, certainly as they used to be. And in my opinion, that's because of how society has shifted and how we've become more technology driven, more technology focused. And kids certainly are more inclined now to stay inside and play on their consoles and interact with their friends that way, rather than going face to face down the park, in the street, playing with their friends. Now, that's obviously going to bring issues that I'm going to go on to. But also alongside that, we're hearing some stories now where some of you may be even more very aware of this issue, that PE in schools is becoming less and less of a thing. And you hear some stories where schools are only doing an hour a week of PE. And that's a really worrying trend. Now, I've got some stats to back this up, because you can see here in the space of 3 or 4 years, when we look at this left column, 2009, 2010. Now, this is a school sports survey looking at minutes per week of PE. So in the left, 2009, 2010, on the right, 2013 to 2014. And in the space of just 3 or 4 years, we've gone from 126 minutes, 127, 130 minutes down here to 102, 14, and 118. So that's a significant amount of time lost in just a couple of years. And if you take the top 2 years here, year 1 and 2, which corresponds now with key stages, these are really important developmental years. Ages 5 to 14. When we talk about physical literacy, and being exposed to the sort of movements that, mechanically we want kids to be exposed to. These are really, really key developmental years. Kids are like sponges; they learn things so quickly when they're that young, and so.